So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with a Hunting Sim 2 video. Now this is probably going to be the first in a little series of these videos going after the legendary animals here in Hunting Sim 2. And as you can see, we currently have a legendary elk coming into a call. Now you can tell this is a legendary because it is sort of a piebald pattern, and when we're spotting it you can see it has the golden name there. So it says elk and it's all highlighted in gold. Normal animals, when you spot them, will have their name in white, but legendary animals will have the golden name. And pretty much all of the legendary animals are some variant of piebald, like you can see with this elk here. Now he's getting really close, so we're going to get ready to take a shot here. Now he's just noticed that I'm there, he was about to flee, and I managed to get a shot off and actually drop him on the spot. Now, like I said, this is going to probably be the first in a small series of going after the different legendaries in this game. Pretty much all of the animals except for the really small game like the ducks and the geese and the rabbits and stuff have a form of legendary for the species, so there's plenty to actually go after. Now you can see what I was talking about here with the piebald pattern on this elk, and it actually looks very pretty. Obviously the antlers aren't the most realistic, but the legendary elk seem to have sort of unique antlers that do look better than the normal elk in this game, so a pretty impressive looking animal overall, even though the models aren't the best. And you can see it's a mature elk as well, and you can see the harvest screen details here again are all highlighted in gold rather than the normal white colour that they would be for a normal animal. Now, taking a look back at the cabin here, you can see this guy was actually 10.8 years old and scores 286. So a very nice elk to go in the lodge. The scores don't really make all that much sense in this game to me, but that's still a really nice legendary to send to the trophy lodge. Now moving on to the next legendary animal that I found, and we have a legendary cougar. And these guys look really cool. I've never seen any form of piebald for a cougar in any hunting game, so this is a really cool thing to see, and I actually really like seeing this for a legendary animal in a game because it looks so unique. That's such a cool pattern. And obviously there he goes to notice us, and I take a shot. I saw the red hit marker come up, so I knew it was a fatal shot, and he doesn't actually go too far before he goes down. You can see that marker just disappearing above his head, and that meant he had just gone down. Taking a closer look at him on the ground, and again that pattern looks so cool. It almost looks like, I don't know, like painted. It's very strange, but I like it. It's unique, and I like unique things. Now obviously here when we pick him up and you see the claim details, we can see that he's a mature, and you know, we shot him at just over 21 meters. But going back to the cabin, we can get some more information, and we can find out that he's 8.3 years old and he scores 72. He's a really nice specimen, and obviously one that we're going to send to the lodge. Again, the scores to me in this game don't make a whole lot of sense. They don't really get explained or anything, but it is a legendary and he's going straight to the lodge. Moving on to the third legendary animal in this video, and we have a legendary bighorn sheep. Now once again you can see the piebald patterning on this ram, and it looks really cool. Again, I've never seen a piebald variant for any kind of sheep in any game, so this is a really cool and again unique thing to see. Now unfortunately that first shot I knew was a bit far back. I took a secondary shot and you can see the animal is limping, which normally means they are going to go down. But I waited several minutes and this guy did not go down, and so I got really close to him, made a third shot, and as you'll see I did get fined for that because anything more than 2 shots in this game is classed as unethical, but I have loads of money so the fine doesn't worry me. I was more worried about getting this guy on the ground. And as you can see, we do have another mature legendary here, taken at just over 50 meters. Now I wish that kill shot had been a bit cleaner, but as I said, I was just more worried about getting this guy down, so getting him with that third shot I was perfectly okay with. He is 16.6 years old, so a pretty old ram, and scores 352. Again, that score doesn't make a whole lot of sense considering like the elk scoring. I do not understand how they score the animals in this game, but a very cool looking animal and one that we're going to send straight to the trophy lodge. For the fourth legendary in this video, we have the red fox. Now, I did actually play some Hunting Sim 2 quite a while ago now, and I did get a few legendaries, and one of the legendaries that I did get was the red fox. They never ended up going into videos because different things happened and I just never ended up having time to sort of complete the video that I wanted to do, and that's another reason why I'm doing this series now, because I wanted to come back and sort of go after more of these legendaries. But again, you can see we have a piebald red fox here, and it's a really pretty pattern. That sort of white contrasting with the bright orange looks really good, and even though a lot of the models in this game aren't the best for the different animals, the red fox models are incredible. These are one of the best models I have seen for red fox in any hunting game. They look so fantastic, and this legendary is just absolutely gorgeous, and it's another mature. I do believe you can get legendaries that aren't mature from what I've seen, but obviously getting mature, that's going to be the oldest and the best kind of legendary to get. They're going to be the biggest, so super happy with that. He's 5 years old, as we can see here when we go to the cabin and get some more info, and he is a 22 scoring fox. So another really nice legendary to send over to the trophy lodge. Moving on to the next clip, and we have a legendary bobcat. Now, the bobcats in this game, for me, are one of the most tricky species to hunt. They are quite hard to actually spot because of their small stature, but they also have the worst hitboxes I've experienced in this game. Several of the hitboxes for some of the animals have been very weird for me, but by far the worst has been the bobcats. And as this one gets nice and close, I go for what I think is going to be a nice clean chest shot, and as you'll see, we're getting white hit markers, so those aren't kill shots, they're just wounding it, and basically I just had to fling shots at this cat as it was running away. Eventually I managed to land a third shot, and you can see the little marker above its head slows down, so I knew that it must be at this point probably fatally wounded and had slowed down considerably, the same as the sheep from earlier. But once again, I waited several minutes just following this cat around, and it didn't go down. I know they will go down eventually when they're in that limping state, but I didn't really want to hang around for too long, and again, I've got plenty of money in this game. It's really easy to make money in this game, so I wasn't worried about getting a fine, so I just took another shot just to bring this animal down even faster. And once again, you can see it is a beautiful piebald with the sort of white collar around the neck and the white paws, and it is another mature, as we can see here with the claim details when we first pick it up. And then we're going to move over to the cabin where we can claim and get the extra details here, which is a cool thing about this game, that when you actually go to the cabin at the end of the hunt to claim all your animals, you get more information. So we can now see that it's 10.5 years old and a score of 42, as well as all of the rest of the details there, like the weight, the size, and the time taken. So a good animal to send to the trophy lodge. Moving on to the next one, and we have one of my favourites actually in this video, a legendary coyote, and I absolutely love how the legendary coyotes look in this game. They are so pretty. Made a nice clean fatal shot on him there, and he drops just a little bit away from where we made that shot, literally barely moved at all after that shot. And they're just really, really pretty with this piebald patterning. Obviously the white tipped tail, the white paws and underbelly, and the white collar around the neck, and also the white snout with a pink nose, which looks really, really nice. I'm a big fan of how these look, and this was my first time ever seeing one, and it was right outside the cabin on the map, so that was really interesting. Again, we can see this guy is a mature, but we're going to have to move over to the cabin to get the rest of the details. So taking him to the cabin, we can see that he scores 40, and he actually has an age of 6 years. So again, a really nice animal for the trophy lodge, and my first ever legendary coyote. Super excited to be able to take this guy, and like I said, I'm a big fan of how these look. I think the wolves also look similar from what I've seen online, and the legendary wolves are something that I'm definitely excited to try and go after. Now moving over to a different map here, and we're actually in the desert here, and we actually have a legendary mule deer, which again, this was my first time seeing a legendary mule deer. I spotted him from a long way off, had to make my way across the map to him, eventually managed to get within calling range, and at this point he is coming into the cooler. And again, it's an interesting piebald pattern. There's basically no piebald patterning on the front half of the deer. It's all going on towards the back end and along the belly. But it's a really pretty pattern. But unfortunately, these guys in the trophy lodge are only able to be displayed as a shoulder mount. And you can't see any of this gorgeous piebald on that mount at all, as you can see, because it's all going on the back half of the deer, and there's no piebald patterning on the front half, which is a shame. But a nice, mature mule deer legendary, which once again we will now take over to the cabin and get some more details for. But nice once again to get a mature, and again distance of just over 21 meters, so nice and close, and I was super happy with how that shot actually went. So he's actually 9.5 years old, and he scores 292. Again, not really sure about the scores and everything. I would probably need to shoot maybe another legendary mule deer to compare and see how big this guy actually is. But super happy with that, and super happy to send another legendary to the trophy lodge. Now, this next legendary is another one of my favourites because I just love how it looks. And this is actually a legendary desert bighorn sheep. So there's the normal bighorn sheep in this game and then the desert bighorn sheep. And I actually really love the legendary model for the desert bighorn sheep because the skin for it is just gorgeous. That darker fur contrasting with the white from the piebald pattern. It just looks so pretty. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. Managed to make a nice clean shot on this guy, and he goes down not far at all from where we took that shot. But they look beautiful. And the bighorn models for both the normal bighorn and the desert bighorn sheep in this game look really good. They're some of the best models in this game, same as like the red fox. And the legendaries for them just look absolutely beautiful. Once again, we have a mature legendary here. I think mature is like the most common for the legendaries, but I'm pretty sure I've seen online like a young legendary at some point. I'm not entirely sure. If I'm wrong about that, please feel free to correct me. But moving over to the cabin, and we can see that this guy is 16.8 years old, and he scores 352. So another nice legendary for the trophy lodge. And finally, the legendary that made me come back to this game to chase after. The legendary Bison. When I played this game a little bit before, and as mentioned, shot a couple of legendaries, the one legendary that I desperately wanted to find was a legendary Bison, and I never managed to find one. And that was kind of the reason that I came back to the game, was to chase after this specific legendary and then chase after the other legendaries that I'd never gotten. But this was the main focus. So finally getting to see this in game was so cool. Now I'm using a 308 here, which is very underpowered for the Bison. And the Bison are, again, one of those species that I found have had weird hitboxes for me. And I don't know if it's just me being bad or what. But sometimes that broadside shot, that will hit a lung shot. As you'll see there, that's actually what drops this guy eventually, is a lung shot. But sometimes I've shot them in the head and it's been a clean headshot and they've dropped on the spot. Sometimes I've shot them in exactly the same place and then they've not died. It's just been so inconsistent with their hitboxes. So basically I ended up throwing as many shots at this guy just to bring him down. Again, I'm not worried about the fines at all, and putting extra shots into them in this game, it doesn't penalise you in any other way other than you will get that fine. So for me that's really not an issue. I just wanted to bring this guy down. And eventually we did bring him down, and he's absolutely gorgeous. This is one of the coolest looking legendaries in this game by far. I hope if we ever see Great One Bison in the Hunter Call of the Wild that there is a variation like this. It also reminds me of one of the legendary bison in Red Dead, the Tatanka bison. It's just an incredible looking animal. That white mask on the face is just incredible. And like I said, I think that would make for a pretty cool Great One if it had patterning like this. It's just pretty insane, and I had to get one of these. It was just my absolute dream legendary was to get one of these, so I'm super stoked. Again, it's a mature, so we've had all mature legendaries throughout this entire video. We eventually got the kill shot at 63 meters, and you can see it was a lung shot that actually killed him. You can see the red lungs here. He's actually 18.1 years old, and he scores 1,334. Now, I don't know if that's like a weight, maybe weight and horn size combined or something, but that's an insanely high score. But what matters to me is that we finally actually got a legendary Bison to go into the trophy lodge. I'm super happy about that. It's, like I said, my absolute favourite legendary in the game, and it's really inspired me to keep wanting to come back and get more and more legendaries since getting this guy. And like I said, there's probably going to be a little series of this on the channel. I'm not too interested in just hunting for the normal animals in this game as much, because like I said, the models and stuff in this game aren't the best, but the legendaries are pretty cool. So I'm going to continue going after the different legendaries, and hopefully there'll be a couple more videos of getting some more of those legendaries here on the channel. But that is going to be it for this first legendary hunting video here in Hunting Sim 2. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.